At some point, every single artist out there learned something very dangerous. You could grow much faster if you just change your sound a little bit, if you follow trends, if you make the types of videos that you see other people making. Maybe you could cut your intro shorter. Maybe you could pick that instrumental that everybody likes. And the worst part about it, it actually works. You built more attention, more followers, more views, but what nobody's telling you is that you built something much worse. You built a fan base that doesn't care about you. You've built an audience full of fake fans, and that's a problem. It makes you feel good. You get those dopamine hits whenever you open up whatever app it is, and you get to look at those things and see growth, or what you feel like is growth. But the problem is they're not attached to who you are or what your core sound really is. You are training the algorithm to appeal to a certain type of audience that might not be exactly what you want. You might be chasing virality. You might be chasing higher numbers, which is extremely tempting. But the biggest issue about that is that you are not concentrating your fan base. You are not growing a very specific, hardened fan base. Something that all the record labels out there have realized for years now. You need to be building super fans. These are fans that identify with you and want to comment. They want to be a part of your ecosystem that you are building. And you want to be building an ecosystem that connects with those fans. I tell people all the time, I'd rather have 100 loyal fans than 1,000 fake fans. Fans that don't engage that much, fans that aren't excited about your next release. They don't really care what's happening next. They just like to like. You see, the internet is a weird place. It likes to get people addicted. It's really good at that. It used to be called social media, but now I call it entertainment media. The platform just cares about keeping people on the platform as long as possible. We could thank TikTok for this trend. TikTok was one of the first platforms that really worked on not trying to follow a creator, but to just get fed random videos constantly until it fine-tunes the algorithm to keep you on for the longest amount of time. Whether or not you're politically charged, normally they want to get you politically charged so that way you could engage more and you could rage click and look at the comments and spend more time, because all they care about is time on the platform. But that's from the user standpoint. What about you, the creator? Well, they also want you addicted. They want you to be addicted to uploading and to creating content and to developing the biggest fan base possible, so that way you can stay on the platform creating longer and making that connection to get people to stay on longer. The most amount of people, not the best people. They don't care about you developing the best audience. They care about you developing the most audience. And that's a problem. They're going to incentivize you. You could see it through all of the apps incentivizing programs to try to get you to create a bunch of stuff that goes in line with whatever trend they're trying to push at the time. Other content creators are trying to follow those trends and make content about those new content strategies that are happening and changing slightly every single week. And they're trying to tell you to do those changes. So you might also try to follow that as well. It's tough, but how do you break away from that and stay focused on your fan base? Your fan base, aka your brand, is the most important thing you could possibly try to cultivate. And this might come at the cost of a slower growth period. Have you guys noticed that artists online are different than they were 10, 15, 20 years ago? All those years ago, before the algorithmic Armageddon, people were trying to build their own audience. And you could still have a character or mystique that you semi-hid behind, that you try to show the audience, that helps combine with your music. But nowadays, all I see is struggling artists trying to just talk about what they make on the daily, and here's my stuff, and it's so hard to be an artist, and it costs a lot of money to be an artist, and it's hard. Yes, you want to understand how the algorithm works, but you also need to understand more what your brand is and how you can use these tools to find your audience and fine-tune the algorithm to find your audience. If you just do what gets the most clicks, you are throwing a super wide net out there that the algorithm is going to have no choice but to throw you in random directions that don't work. This might actually kill performance or give you a false sense of dopamine hits that makes you think that your audience is actually authentic and cares about you. The people that I see making money nowadays in music have been doing this for a long time. They've been building a fan base that is loyal to them and their art. Their visuals match their music. There is a slight mystique behind who this person really is and gets them curious to find out who you are. In the beginning of the social media age, I was telling people that you need to not hide behind this persona, and then you need to be more of a real person. People want to know who you are and why what you're doing means something. You could see that play out today for a lot of younger artists, a lot of just creators in general trying to be honest. But the problem with that is they're honest in a way that doesn't help build that fan base. They're honest in a way that just makes them seem like a regular person like everybody else. You want to be relatable, but you don't want to be everybody else. You don't want to be somebody in a sea of other people that is not able to stand out. You want to be somebody who stands out in that sea of artists trying to make it. You want to stand out in a way that your super fan can instantly look out and see that person. I'll give you a quick example here. I've made almost 50 long form videos here on this platform. And I've had videos do okay, and I've had a lot of videos not do very well according to the numbers that you would expect, that you would want. My last video got like under 30 views or something like that in the last couple days. So what do I do mentally? What do I initially want to do? I want to go onto ChatGPT and to tell it to develop a very catchy beginning, that first 30-second hook that gets you hooked into watching this entire video. And then after that, I need a 5-stage process of curiosity loops that gets you into one section, into the next section, into the next section. So what happens is I start messing around with ChatGPT to see what kind of video formats are more pleasing to viewers that want to watch my videos. And I built that. I actually made this. It's sitting right here. I'm supposed to be reading off of it right now. But guess what? I don't care about that. That's not me. That's not the audience that I want. I want an audience that is real, that can handle a real conversation and not be bait switched into the next section. The beginning of this video was a little bit more of a bait. The beginning of this video was more about that curiosity loop, and I'm supposed to continue that, but I don't care. If you're still here, you're a real fan that really cares about what I'm saying. If you don't, then you're not the right audience for me. And that's okay. There's a lot of people out there talking about the music business and how to get better in the music business. But I need to stay focused on what's important to me and what's important to the audience that I'm trying to cultivate. And the audience that I want is a conversation with real artists that need real advice in a sea of this crazy information out there. So you don't want to be chasing that 1,000 fans. Cultivate that 100 fans. It takes a long time, yes. It's a huge investment, and it takes a long time to invest into those things that will get you your 1,000 real fans eventually. But you can't build your house on sand. You have to build something that can develop into the future. This takes longer. This is a much more painful route, but it's so much more rewarding in the end. I'm here to prove it. I haven't proved it yet, but I am trying to. I'm basically an experiment of how this works. I'm here with ChatGPT testing out how to get the highest click-through rate, the highest retention, the highest engagement, but I feel like I'm fighting myself on this. That's not who I really am. Do I really want to build something that doesn't feel authentic as I'm delivering the lines here on this screen that I'm looking at off to the side? Or do I want to stay the course that I believe in? That's what I want you to do. If you get a lot of views, being who you are and delivering it the way that you like, then that's great. And I really hope that you guys are constantly taking a look at yourself and your progress and asking yourself this question: is this you? Are you authentic? Are you communicating your authenticity of who you are and what your art is to the audience? Are you developing the right audience with this? And a lot of time the answer to those questions is going to be, I don't know. As of right now, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm only 5 months into this. It takes years for people to build a career into something. You can't just wake up one day and then just make a song and then all of a sudden just be famous. That's just not how it works. Unless you're Benny Blanco. That guy literally has the golden child of just walking into a room and making 2010 hits and becoming an underground superstar. Anyways, you want people that are repeat listeners. You want people that are repeat watchers. You want to develop content for them. You want to learn how to develop who you are. That's more important than anything. If you had 100 people that wanted to buy your merch, let's just say whatever it is, it could be vinyl, it could be a CD, it could be a t-shirt or a hat or whatever, or socks. If you were to develop something like that and sell out every single time, that would be an insanely impressive feat, especially in the beginning stages. And when I say in beginning stages, I don't mean the first couple months, I mean the first couple years. Once you develop who you are and what your audience is, what they care about, what kind of content you want to make surrounding that, what kind of music you want to make surrounding that you love doing, that feeds your soul, then you could scale up. Then you can develop a business that is able to go bigger and grow larger and develop. But until you figure that out, you could be wasting a lot of time looking at a ton of views that if you just drop the ball for 2 seconds, all those views go away and you have to start over again because the algorithm says so. The platforms always change, the rules always change, and how to trick the algorithm always changes. But the people that stay in this business for a long time and constantly make money off of this, they don't change. Or should I say their brand doesn't change. They learn the new tools, they try out the new tools and the new developments and how content works and blah, blah, blah. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about them as a brand. I'm talking about who you are. That's the kind of honesty that you want to develop. If you are somebody who wants to make content that is showing how you're a struggling artist, it should fit you as an artist. The brand deals that you develop should fit you as an artist. I don't know about your guys' feed, but I get a lot of ads on YouTube that show a lot of independent artists advertising a product for like auto-tune or whatever the plug-in of the week is. They're like, yeah, I've been an artist and I've been making, music and I do so well, using my new auto-tune. And you never hear about those people ever again. You never know who they are, what they are, why they did this. Did that ad fit their brand or did they just cash out real quick? Did it feel good to get an email from Auto-Tune saying, can you do a commercial for me? Is that part of their music? Does that even matter? It's really tough to navigate these waters when you want to earn money and you see these opportunities and you have to turn something down because it doesn't fit your brand. But the world is full of people who say yes. It dilutes their brand. It dilutes their identity. It dilutes their music. The whole reason why they got into this. You should not be hopping on trends that don't fit your style or your music. If you're more of a rebellious archetype, for example, and then we see you doing quick TikTok dances, it makes the music seem fake. I want to know what your guys' opinion is on this, and I also want to know if you guys get tempted by this type of mentality. I appreciate you tuning into my curiosity loops and my ChatGPT script. I'll talk to you later.